Have you ever wondered why two people can face the exact same situation, yet one feels crushed while the other rises stronger? The difference is not in the challenge, it's in the mindset. Today, you are going to discover how to train your mind to win in any situation, no matter how impossible it may seem. And if you stay with me until the end of this message, you will walk away with tools that will completely transform how you respond to pain, disappointment, and setbacks for the rest of your life. Mental discipline is one of the most powerful forces that can transform a person's life, yet it is often the most underestimated. The truth is, your mind is the most advanced and powerful tool you will ever have, but like any tool, it must be trained, sharpened, and directed in order to function at its highest potential. The difference between a person who thrives in life and one who feels constantly defeated is not that one is luckier or has fewer challenges. It is that one has learned to discipline their mind while the other has allowed their mind to control them. Mental discipline means teaching yourself to think in ways that move you forward rather than pull you down. It is the ability to remain steady when everything around you is unstable, to remain calm when others are panicking, and to keep a positive, solution-focused perspective even when problems seem endless. Think of mental discipline as training a muscle. The first time you try to lift a heavy weight, it feels impossible. Your body trembles and you may feel like quitting. But the more you train, the stronger you become, and eventually what was once difficult becomes easy. The mind works the same way. At first, it might feel impossible to control your thoughts. You may find yourself constantly overthinking, worrying about the future, replaying painful memories, or imagining the worst outcomes. But with consistent practice, you can teach your mind to focus on what really matters. You can train yourself to catch negative thoughts before they spiral out of control, to choose gratitude when your emotions want to sink into self-pity, and to stay disciplined when your impulses push you to quit. Mental discipline is not about ignoring reality or pretending that pain does not exist. It is about learning to respond to life consciously rather than react to it automatically. Most people go through life reacting. They get angry when insulted, they feel hopeless when they fail, they feel jealous when others succeed. But a disciplined mind has the ability to pause and choose its reaction. It can say, I may have been insulted, but I choose to respond with dignity. It can say, yes, I failed, but I choose to learn and try again. This ability to choose your response is what separates a strong person from a weak one, a winner from a victim. The power of mental discipline becomes clear in moments of crisis. Imagine two people losing their job on the same day. One person allows fear to take over, thinking, this is the end, I will never recover, and spends weeks paralyzed by anxiety. The other person, even though they feel the same fear, disciplines their mind to focus on the solution. They start updating their resume, networking, applying for opportunities, and upgrading their skills. Months later, this person might find a better job than the one they lost. The situation was the same for both, but the outcome was different because one mind was trained to win and the other was not. Training your mind requires consistent effort. It means watching the words you speak to yourself because those words shape your reality. It means staying away from constant negativity, whether it comes from toxic people or the media you consume. It means creating habits that build mental strength, such as journaling your thoughts, meditating or reflecting daily, reading meaningful books, and surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to grow. Over time, these habits turn mental discipline into a natural state of being rather than something you have to force. Another part of mental discipline is emotional regulation. When emotions are left uncontrolled, they can destroy relationships, careers, and opportunities. A disciplined mind does not suppress emotions but manages them. It knows when to speak and when to stay silent, when to act and when to wait. It understands that decisions made in anger, fear, or desperation often lead to regret, so it slows down, takes a breath, and acts with clarity. This level of control can completely change the direction of your life because most people lose battles simply by losing control of their emotions at the wrong time. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of mental discipline is that it gives you inner freedom. When you train your mind, you are no longer a slave to circumstances. People can insult you, but you don't lose your peace. Life can throw challenges at you, but you don't lose your direction. Failure can knock you down, but you stand up again. This inner strength is what allows you to win in every situation. Because even if you don't control what happens outside, you always control what happens inside. The journey to building mental discipline is not quick, but it is worth it. Every day you discipline your thoughts, you build resilience. Every day you choose focus over distraction, gratitude over negativity, and patience over impulse, you grow stronger. Eventually, you become the kind of person who is unshakable, who can walk through storms with a calm heart and a clear mind. And that kind of strength is what leads to true success, not just in one area of life, but in all of them. Shifting your perspective is one of the most life-changing decisions you can ever make. It is the key that turns obstacles into opportunities, pain into wisdom, and setbacks into stepping stones toward your purpose. Most people allow their lives to be defined by how they see things in the moment, and often that perspective is shaped by fear, frustration, or disappointment. But when you learn to shift your perspective, you begin to see the same situation differently. And that change in how you view it changes everything about how you feel and act. The challenge itself may not disappear, but its power over you begins to fade. This is the foundation of victory in every situation. To look at life not as a series of punishments, but as a series of lessons designed to grow you into the strongest version of yourself. When difficulties come, most people's first reaction is to ask,
"Why me?"
They see their pain as unfair, their failure as permanent, and their hardship as a punishment. But a trained mind learns to ask a different question. What is this situation trying to teach me? This simple shift changes the entire experience. Suddenly, the same storm that once felt like it was meant to destroy you now becomes the very thing that shapes you into someone stronger and wiser. That heartbreak becomes a lesson about self-worth and healthy boundaries. That financial loss becomes a teacher that guides you toward better planning and discipline. That rejection becomes the redirection that saves you from a path you were never meant to walk. Perspective is powerful because it determines how you feel. The situation itself might be painful, but if you see it as a blessing in disguise, you find hope. If you see it as an opportunity to grow, you feel motivated. If you see it as a stepping stone towards something greater, you gain the strength to keep moving forward. On the other hand, if you see every problem as a curse, you will remain trapped in anger and bitterness. The same reality can produce two completely different outcomes depending on how you look at it. Consider the way a sculptor sees a block of marble. To most people, it is just a rock. But the sculptor sees the statue hidden inside and begins to chip away, bit by bit, until the beauty is revealed. Life works the same way. Every problem you face is a piece of marble being chipped away to reveal the masterpiece within you. When you shift your perspective to see struggles as tools of refinement rather than instruments of destruction, you stop resisting the process and start cooperating with it. You realize that the pressure you feel today is shaping you for the opportunities you will handle tomorrow. Shifting perspective also means letting go of the need to control every detail. Many times, frustration comes from expecting life to go exactly according to our plan. But when you begin to see delays and detours as protection instead of punishment, you find peace even when things do not go your way. Sometimes what looks like a closed door is saving you from walking into disaster. Sometimes the timing that feels too slow is actually perfect timing, preparing you for something far better than you imagined. When you trust that there is meaning behind every season of your life, you stop fighting reality and start flowing with it. Another important part of shifting perspective is gratitude. Gratitude has the power to completely reframe your situation. Instead of focusing on what you lost, gratitude reminds you of what you still have. Instead of obsessing over what is missing, gratitude opens your eyes to the blessings you overlooked. This does not mean you ignore your pain. It means you refuse to let pain blind you to the good that still exists. Gratitude lifts your spirit and helps you endure hardship with patience and dignity, even in the darkest seasons. A change of perspective can breathe new life into you. Think of people who have gone through extreme loss or tragedy yet emerge with compassion and strength that inspires everyone around them. They are not superhuman. They have simply chosen to see meaning in their suffering. They allow the pain to shape them rather than break them. This is available to you too, but it requires a conscious choice. Every time life hits you hard, you can either ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Or you can say, "What is this preparing me for?" The answer to that question is what will keep you moving forward when quitting seems easier. The power of perspective is that it puts you back in control of your mind. Even when you cannot control the circumstances, you control the meaning you give them. And the meaning you attach to a situation determines the strength you will have to overcome it. If you decide that your struggle is temporary and is shaping you for something better, you will find the courage to endure. If you decide that your pain has a purpose, you will refuse to waste it. So, shift your perspective today. Decide to see life through the lens of growth and opportunity rather than fear and defeat. Choose to see every problem as a teacher, every delay as preparation, and every heartbreak as redirection towards something greater. When you do this, you will notice that the same problems that used to crush you now become the very fuel that pushes you forward. Your mind becomes lighter, your heart becomes stronger, and your spirit becomes unshakable. This is what it means to train your mind to win. Not by avoiding challenges, but by seeing them through a perspective that turns every loss into a lesson and every setback into a step closer to victory. Consistency is the hidden secret behind almost every great success story. It is not just about doing something once with full energy. It is about showing up again and again, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's boring, even when progress seems invisible. True strength is not built in moments of excitement. It is built in the quiet, ordinary moments where you choose discipline over comfort, action over procrastination, and growth over excuses. The people who seem unshakable in life did not get there overnight. They trained themselves little by little until resilience became their second nature. When you start something new, a habit, a routine, a positive change, it feels exciting at first. Your motivation is high, your energy is fresh, and your commitment seems unbreakable. But as time goes on, that initial burst fades. You face days when you are tired, days when you are discouraged, and days when nothing seems to be working. It is in those exact moments that consistency matters the most. Most people quit when the feeling wears off, but winners keep going because they know that small steps repeated consistently create massive results over time. Consistency is like watering a plant. If you water it once and expect it to grow overnight, you will be disappointed. But if you water it every day, even when nothing seems to be happening, eventually roots grow deep, leaves begin to appear, and the plant becomes strong enough to withstand storms. The same is true with your mind, your habits, and your personal growth. Every day you choose to feed your mind with positive thoughts. Every day you choose to take action toward your goals. Every day you refuse to give up. You are planting seeds of strength that will eventually produce a harvest. This is why consistency is more powerful than intensity. Many people start with intensity, giving everything they have in one big effort, but they burn out because they cannot sustain it. The person who takes small, consistent steps eventually outruns the one who rushed ahead with a burst of energy. Think about it. If you do something small every day for 1 year, that is 365 repetitions of growth. Even if your progress seems slow, you are still moving forward. And over time, those small steps compound into transformation. Consistency also trains your mind to trust you. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build confidence. Every time you follow through, even when it's hard, you prove to yourself that you are reliable. This is how inner strength is formed. By keeping commitments to yourself even when no one is watching. When you tell yourself you will wake up early and you actually do it, your self-respect grows. When you commit to focusing on gratitude every day and you follow through, your mindset begins to shift naturally. Over time, these small wins build a sense of inner discipline that nothing can easily break. There will always be days when you don't feel motivated. That's where consistency becomes a decision rather than a feeling. Motivation may get you started, but consistency keeps you going. It is what helps you keep pushing, even when you are tired, even when you have failed, even when it feels like you are not getting anywhere. Winners are not people who never fall. They are simply people who keep getting up and showing up no matter how many times they fall. Consistency also builds emotional strength. When life gets hard, your habits become your anchor. If you have trained yourself to focus on solutions, to stay patient, to stay grateful, those habits will carry you through storms without you having to fight as hard. But if your habits are weak, you will find yourself easily crushed by pressure. This is why it is so important to build good habits now, not just when things are going well, but especially when things are difficult. The habits you build today will determine how you respond to tomorrow's challenges. The beauty of consistency is that it creates momentum. At first, it feels slow, like pushing a heavy object uphill. But once momentum builds, everything becomes easier. Your mind becomes sharper, your decisions become quicker, and your confidence grows stronger. What once felt like a struggle becomes a natural part of your life. That is the reward of staying consistent long enough to break through the hard beginning stages. Consistency builds strength because it forces you to endure discomfort. Every time you choose to keep going when you feel like quitting, you stretch your limits a little more. Every time you say no to distractions and stay focused on what matters, you become mentally tougher. This toughness is what allows you to face bigger challenges in the future without breaking. People often pray for strength, not realizing that strength is given through opportunities to practice consistency. Remember, the goal is not perfection. You may miss a day, you may stumble, you may fall back into old habits sometimes. But consistency is about always coming back, always realigning, always taking the next step forward. Progress is not measured by how perfect you are, but by how quickly you return to the path after falling. If you refuse to give up, if you refuse to let one bad day turn into a bad week, you will eventually build a level of discipline and resilience that makes you unstoppable. So commit to being consistent. Show up for yourself daily, even when nobody is clapping for you, even when no one notices your effort. Trust the process, because the results are coming, even if you cannot see them yet. The strength you are building right now will carry you through future challenges and help you win in situations that would have once defeated you. Consistency is not just a habit, it is a mindset, a commitment to growth. A decision to keep showing up for your goals, your peace, and your future no matter how difficult the journey becomes. Detaching from negativity is one of the most liberating things you can ever do for yourself. Negativity is like a heavy weight you carry everywhere. It drains your energy, clouds your judgment, and keeps you from seeing the opportunities right in front of you. Many people stay stuck in life not because they lack talent, effort, or intelligence, but because they allow negativity to surround them and seep into their minds. To win in every situation, you must make a conscious decision to step away from negativity, whether it comes from your environment, your relationships, or even your own thoughts. Negativity often disguises itself as reality, but the truth is that it distorts reality. When you are surrounded by constant criticism, gossip, and pessimism, you begin to believe that nothing good can happen for you. You start thinking small, doubting your abilities, and expecting the worst. The danger of staying connected to negativity is that it becomes normal. If all you hear every day is complaining and hopelessness, you start to think that's just the way life is supposed to be. But it's not. Life can be hard, yes, but it is also filled with possibilities, and you will only see them when you free yourself from the fog of negativity. Detaching from negativity begins with becoming aware of where it comes from. Sometimes it's the people you spend time with. If you are always around individuals who bring you down, who speak words that crush your spirit, or who constantly remind you of your past mistakes, it becomes nearly impossible to grow. You don't have to hate these people, but you do need to protect yourself from their influence. You can love someone and still set boundaries. You can care about them but decide not to absorb their toxic energy. Your mental space is sacred, and not everyone deserves access to it. But negativity is not just external. Sometimes it lives inside you. The most dangerous negative voice is often the one in your own head. It's the voice that says, "You're not good enough, you always fail," or "Why even try?" Detaching from negativity means learning to challenge that inner critic. When a negative thought enters your mind, pause and ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it helping me or hurting me? Most of the time, you will realize that it is just fear speaking. Replace it with a better thought even if you don't fully believe it at first. Over time, your mind learns to default to positivity instead of negativity. Another form of negativity that keeps people stuck is dwelling on the past. Regret and resentment can be as toxic as negative people. When you replay old mistakes or hold grudges against those who wronged you, you stay emotionally tied to situations that no longer serve you. You cannot win today's battles if your mind is stuck in yesterday's pain. Forgiveness, whether it's forgiving others or forgiving yourself, is one of the most powerful ways to detach from negativity. Forgiving doesn't mean what happened was okay. It simply means you refuse to carry the burden any longer. Detaching from negativity does not mean avoiding reality or pretending that bad things don't exist. It means refusing to let them control your emotional state. It means choosing to focus on solutions rather than problems, on what is within your control rather than what isn't. There will always be challenges, but you do not have to drown in them. You can acknowledge pain without letting it consume you. You can feel sadness without becoming hopeless. You can be aware of the world's problems and still choose to protect your inner peace. When you begin to detach from negativity, you will notice how much lighter you feel. Your energy will rise, your thinking will become clearer, and you will have more space to be creative and hopeful. Suddenly, you start noticing opportunities you were blind to before because negativity had blocked your vision. You will find that you have more patience, more compassion, and more emotional stability. Detaching from negativity gives you the freedom to respond with wisdom instead of reacting with anger or fear. This is not always easy. There will be moments when negativity tries to pull you back. There will be days when your own thoughts turn dark, or when someone close to you tries to drag you into gossip or conflict. That's when you must remind yourself of the bigger picture, that your peace of mind is worth protecting at all costs. Walk away from arguments that lead nowhere. Limit your exposure to things that make you anxious or bitter. Choose to fill your mind with things that uplift you. Books, lectures, uplifting conversations, prayer, reflection. Negativity loses its power when you stop feeding it. The less attention you give to drama, criticism, and fear-based thinking, the weaker they become in your life. And soon, positivity becomes your natural state. You start expecting good things to happen. And because of that, you start attracting better opportunities and better people into your life. Your mind becomes stronger, calmer, and more focused. Detaching from negativity is not just about living a peaceful life. It is about positioning yourself to win. When your mind is clear, you make better decisions. When your emotions are stable, you handle challenges with strength. When you are not weighed down by negativity, you move faster toward your goals. In this way, letting go of negativity is not just an emotional choice, but a strategic one. It is the decision to protect your energy so you can use it where it really matters, building the life you were meant to live. One of the most powerful ways to train your mind to win in every situation is to focus only on what you can control. So much of human suffering comes from trying to change things that are completely outside of our power. We spend endless hours thinking about what someone said about us, worrying about how people see us, obsessing over the future, or replaying moments from the past that cannot be changed. This mental habit leaves us drained, anxious, and powerless. The truth is, there will always be things you cannot control: other people's opinions, their actions, the weather, the economy, the timing of certain events, and many twists of fate that life throws at you. The key is to stop wasting energy on what you cannot change and start putting that energy into what you can. When you focus on what you can control, you take back your power. You cannot control how someone treats you, but you can control how you respond. You cannot control the opportunities that come your way, but you can control how prepared you are when they do. You cannot control when challenges appear, but you can control whether you face them with panic or with a calm, solution-oriented mind. This is how you win, by putting your effort into the areas where your action actually makes a difference. Imagine standing in the rain and screaming at the sky to stop raining. No matter how loud you scream, the rain will not stop. But you can choose to grab an umbrella, find shelter, or even dance in the rain. The rain does not have to ruin your day. It only ruins your day if you decide to stay angry about it. Life is full of these rain moments. People will let you down. Things will not always go according to plan. Unexpected problems will show up. But if you focus on your response rather than the problem itself, you turn every situation into an opportunity to grow stronger. Focusing on what you can control also keeps you mentally clear. When your attention is scattered across things you cannot change, your mind becomes heavy and overwhelmed. You feel like a victim of life instead of a participant in it. But when you shift your attention to the small, meaningful steps you can take, your sense of purpose and clarity returns. You start thinking, I may not be able to fix everything today, but I can do this one thing right now. And often, that one step leads to the next, and before you know it, you have built momentum and taken control of your path. This mindset is especially important when dealing with people. You cannot control what others think, say, or do. You cannot make someone respect you, love you, or treat you fairly. You can only control your own behavior and your own boundaries. When you stop trying to force people to be who you want them to be and instead focus on being the best version of yourself, you regain your peace. You no longer tie your happiness to other people's decisions. You no longer wait for their approval to move forward. Another benefit of focusing on what you can control is that it builds resilience. Life will test you with situations that are completely beyond your control. Accidents, delays, betrayals, sudden changes. But when you train yourself to quickly shift from, why is this happening to me, to what can I do right now, you stay in motion. You stay empowered. You may not be able to change the event, but you can change its impact on your life by the way you respond to it. This principle also applies to your thoughts and emotions. While you cannot control what thoughts initially pop into your mind or what emotions you feel, you can control what you do with them. You can choose which thoughts to believe and which to reject. You can choose to take a deep breath when you are angry rather than reacting impulsively. You can choose to focus on gratitude even when life feels unfair. These choices, repeated consistently, shape your character and create a powerful mental shield that allows you to face life with strength. Focusing on what you can control also gives you peace. The moment you stop fighting battles that are not yours to fight, a heavy weight lifts off your shoulders. You no longer try to manage everyone's opinions, solve everyone's problems, or predict every possible future outcome. Instead, you stay grounded in the present moment, doing what you can with what you have. This kind of peace makes you more effective because your energy is no longer scattered. It is focused like a laser on the things that truly matter. There is a freedom that comes with this mindset. You are free to let go of unnecessary stress, free to stop chasing control over the uncontrollable, free to live fully in the present. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. You stop wasting time complaining about what you cannot change and instead work on improving what you can. And little by little, your life begins to transform. Not because the world around you has changed, but because you have. So today, ask yourself, what am I spending my energy on? Are you trying to control things beyond your reach, or are you focusing on the small, meaningful actions that are within your power? The moment you shift your attention, your perspective changes, your emotions stabilize, and your confidence grows. That is the path to victory, not trying to control everything, but mastering the one thing you always have control over: yourself. Gratitude and patience are two of the most powerful tools you can use to train your mind to win in every situation. They might seem simple or even soft compared to discipline and focus, but they are what keep you grounded when life gets stormy. Gratitude turns your attention from what is missing to what is present, and patience keeps you steady when the results you desire have not yet appeared. Together, they create a mindset that is calm, hopeful, and resilient no matter what life throws your way. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It is a way of seeing the world. When you live with gratitude, you train your mind to notice what is still good even in the middle of chaos. Problems do not disappear, but they no longer feel as heavy because you are not fixating on them. You are balancing them with the recognition of blessings that still exist. If you are going through hardship, gratitude reminds you that you still have air to breathe, strength to fight, lessons to learn, and opportunities to grow. Even the fact that you are alive today is something to be grateful for because it means you still have a chance to rewrite your story. This mindset completely changes the way you experience pain. Without gratitude, challenges make you bitter and hopeless. But when you practice gratitude, challenges make you wiser. For example, losing a job might feel like the end of the world, but gratitude might remind you that you still have skills, health, and the ability to create new opportunities. Gratitude doesn't ignore the pain of the loss, but it stops the loss from defining you. It keeps you from falling into despair and gives you the strength to keep moving forward. Gratitude also changes the way you see other people. Instead of focusing on what they do wrong, you begin to notice what they do right. You appreciate the small acts of kindness, the support, the effort they put into your relationship. This not only strengthens your connections, but also keeps your heart light and free from unnecessary resentment. Gratitude creates a positive energy around you that people can feel. It draws more good into your life because you are already tuned to see the good that is there. Patience, on the other hand, is the ability to stay calm and committed while waiting for the right moment. It is the refusal to give up just because things are taking longer than you hoped. In a world that is obsessed with instant results, patience is a rare but priceless quality. It protects you from frustration, from making reckless decisions, and from giving up too soon. Most of the best things in life take time. Healing takes time. Growth takes time. Success takes time. Without patience, You will abandon the process before you see the reward. Patience is not passive, it is an active choice to keep showing up and doing the work even when progress seems invisible. It is trusting that your effort will pay off even if you cannot see evidence of it yet. When you are patient, you understand that delays are not denials, and that sometimes what you are waiting for is also waiting for you to become ready. This perspective gives you peace because you are no longer fighting against the timing of life. Instead, you are working with it. There will be seasons in life when it feels like nothing is moving, when doors are not opening, and when answers are not coming. Those seasons can feel frustrating, but they are often the seasons where the most growth is happening inside you. Patience allows that inner work to happen. It gives you the space to develop resilience, wisdom, and emotional maturity so that when the breakthrough does come, you are strong enough to handle it. Gratitude and patience together create a powerful balance. Gratitude keeps your heart soft and open, while patience keeps your mind steady and focused. Gratitude helps you enjoy the present moment, and patience helps you wait for the future without anxiety. Gratitude allows you to see that even in hard times there is still good around you. And patience reminds you that better days are coming if you just hold on. When you combine these tools, you become unshakable. Imagine facing a setback and being able to say, I am grateful for what this is teaching me, and I am patient enough to see what comes next. That mindset turns defeat into growth. It allows you to carry peace even in the middle of pain. And because you are not panicking, you make better decisions, stay consistent with your efforts, and position yourself to receive opportunities when they arrive. Gratitude and patience are also contagious. People are drawn to those who radiate calmness and appreciation, especially in a world full of complaints and negativity. Your energy becomes inspiring, giving others hope that they too can stay strong during their struggles. So train yourself to use gratitude and patience as daily tools. Begin every day by noticing at least one thing you are thankful for, no matter how small. End every day by reminding yourself that you are one step closer to where you want to be, even if you can't see it yet. When challenges come, choose to say, I will stay grateful and I will stay patient, because those two choices will keep your mind steady and your heart strong until the storm passes. Gratitude and patience are not just nice ideas. They are practical weapons against fear, frustration, and hopelessness. They keep you moving forward when others give up. They make you stronger, calmer, and wiser. And ultimately, they allow you to win not just once, but in every situation life throws your way.